Democracy is back again. You can look at the way that they're attacking us on the media and the Facebook, you can be sure. And no one is missing. Everyone is there. They wanted economic revolution. They wanted a political revolution. We had to think anew. In 1977, because they wanted a revolution, they gave President Jayawardena, Mr. Jayawardena, 5/6 of the members, and he carried it out. And we survived the war. And then with a reduced majority, President Premadas carried on. In this instance, with the PR system, it was difficult. But I felt, to have asked the General Secretary of opposing party to be the candidate was one, but work together. And then we all felt that we need to have a national government to make these changes. It would be very difficult for us, but it would be difficult for them also. But let's go ahead, and slowly we are getting ahead of the issues. We are now dealing with the hidden issues we inherited, such as the debt, the national disunity, the international restrictions due to the human rights commitments made by the Rajapaksa government. Much better if they enforced the law without going in for various promises which they are not going to fulfill. What we've done is we've stayed together and we've laid the foundation. We cleared the rubble and we've laid the political and the economic foundation. At least we are coming to grips with the issue of the debt. In addition to the economy, we've got the support of the international community. Within Asia, we are working closely with India, with China and with Japan to become the hub of the Indian Ocean. Now it's the next step, how we get investments in to create the jobs, how we increase incomes, how we make our domestic entrepreneurs more competitive, how to get in foreign investments. Long story. My family has been involved in backroom politics. They own the newspapers. They work together with the leaders, my grandfather and my father, my uncle. But in 1972, the newspapers were taken over. So we lost that. Then they brought in socialist policies where we could not eat rice for 2 days of the week. We could only have 2 yards of cloth. We had only 2 tires for any vehicle. If it's a bicycle, 1 tire. And they extended parliament and ran it under emergency. So many of us young people, lawyers and others thought, look, we will spend our time into politics and we will help J.R. Jayawardena to bring the UMP back to power, and then we'll get back to doing our normal activity, which most of them did. Some of them went back to business, became successful businessmen, others became successful lawyers, accountants. I was put in charge of the treasurer of our youth movement, and then as the constituency secretary of Mr. Jayawardena's constituency, together with my co-constituency secretary, we were the key organizers for the by-election of 1975. He resigned the seat in protest and tested his popularity through a by-election. I had done all the work and was thinking maybe at some time I should look at a Colombo seat, but he virtually pushed me into contesting the vacancy in Kelaniya. The first request was for H.W. Jayawardena, his brother, who turned it down. And then Mr. Sirisoma Ranasinghe, one of his supporters, and others wanted me to contest. I wasn't keen actually. So there was rounds of consultations, and finally I think they persuaded my mother. My father didn't need any persuasion. And he said, okay, we'll go in and later on you can decide what you want to do. So I got pushed into it, not that I wanted, but Mr. Jayawardena did that to a few others. He wanted fresh faces, young faces, new faces to come into politics with new thinking. And he succeeded. So I suppose we have to thank him for coming into politics. pushed me in because he wanted new faces. There were a large number of new faces. I was one of the youngest. So it was a good move on his part, and he wanted to have a large base of young people who could then come to the forefront of the party. That's a difficult question. One is the fact that I've been in parliament for 40 years, I've been in the party, become the leader, lost and come back again. That is one of character where people certainly has to know how to get on to the top of the greasy pole, how to hang on, the patience involved, the sufferings. So that's one. Secondly, all of us from many parties had to go through a very trying time with wars, with internal clashes. But thirdly, my experience was in opening out. We are part of a new revolution that's taken place in the world after 77. We did not envisage the collapse of the Soviet Union, that we could see the decline. The Asia was rising, but not so fast. Didn't think China and India would ever come to this position. But in a way, it is exciting where you were there at the beginning. Have hope for Sri Lanka. We'll have a better future. You enter politics, ensure that we are the best in the region and our people get the best deal.